fair to say? Here we go, watch. Take one out. Take one. Don't let me see it. Which one? Okay. Show it to them, show it to them. Here, take the deck. Mix it into the deck. Mix it up into the deck. Oh.
That's it.
That's it, man. On the other side of the glass. Oh.
No,
my God.
No. Okay, now wait. First of all, the first one that was in my mind, he really guessed that was real. I think he's not natural.
We are going to move the bullet signed on the tip with the initials and the picture drawn by Mike to Teller's side of the stage. And the bullet signed with initials by Brett and with the smiley face on the shell to this side of the stage. And we're going to do it using these magic wands. These are three...
I think Penn and Teller's bullet catching trick really is brilliant. It is really extraordinary.
It really is a very, very silly, dangerous trick.
Now, have you loaded a gun before? Just take your bullet right there. See your little stick man and your initials, just slide it right in there. All the way in. You get a shot of that going in. And I'm going to close it up so it's the next round fired. You see that?
12 people, actually more than that, have died doing versions of the bullet catch. And we don't want to. So we have checkpoints along the way. We have just moments that we make eye contact, look at each other, and I don't have any lines until it has no action. And we have a few seconds where we run through the checklist, everything that needs to be done to make sure it's safe.
And keep your eye on these bullets because, Brett, Mike, they get your name on them.
The line is an absolutely brilliant way of trying to get you to look for a switch of bullets that never comes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Penn and Teller's magic bullet.
It's the bit that we're not allowed to ad-lib on. The whole crew knows it really well, and I've told our stage manager and everybody that if I get off book, if I start going a little wacky and doing different stuff, or Teller's acting differently, to just come out and end the show. But that's just the end of it, because safety is the most important thing. Absolutely a head scratcher. No one knows how it's done. Just a mind blower. Everything that you could possibly think off the top of your head is wrong.
Mike, you signed a bullet with your initials and you loaded it into this Colt Python 357 Magnum. Mike, is that your bullet?
The way we're doing it is like 5 different methods. So if you figured out 3 things we're doing, you can't get the other 2.
Are those your 3 initials?
Yes, they are.
In the color you wrote?
Yeah.
In your handwriting?
Mm-hmm.
Has it been through the barrel of a gun? Smell it. Can you smell the gunpowder?
Yeah.
See the rifling?
Yeah.
We end up with a trick that's just the best trick we've ever done.
Are your 3 initials on there?
Yeah.
Is it in your writing?
Yes.
That's your bullet?
Yeah.
I really don't know how they did it. And I know how most tricks are done. And I didn't see it, I couldn't spot it, I don't know how they did it. I was amazed.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the magic bullet.
The bullet catching trick is the most dangerous illusion ever because it's so difficult to practice without drawing.
A great way to practice is to use a toy gun like this. I've signed this ping pong ball. I'm going to insert it into the ping pong gun. Adam, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
3, 2, 1, fire!
Whoa, I got it!
It's a bit drooly, but is this your signature?
Yes, it is. I think we're ready to move on to the real gun.
Yes.
After the break, the 10 greatest magic tricks of all time.
Not a real, actual gun, though.
Yes, a machine gun. And now it's time for yet another lesson in magic. Forcing a card is when you control somebody's selection without them knowing it. Here's a simple force you can try at home. Adam, do you have your boxing glove on?
Yes, I do.
Well, then pick a card. Any card.
Okay. Can you not move them, though, is the only thing?
I'm not moving them. The magic's making you dizzy. Is the card you've chosen the Jack of Diamonds?
Well, yes, it is. Wow, that's amazing. I can't believe that trick didn't make it into the top 10.
Usually when you see a trick that looks dangerous, you know, there's actually a secret, it's actually quite safe behind it. But with Hans Moretti, I do think he is genuinely a nutter.
It's not a trick in a magical sense. It is a very special shooting feat.
Big Helga, she's there, she's got an apple on her head, and she's quite tense because obviously if they've had a tip in the morning, this could affect whether the crossbow goes through her eye or not.
Moret.
Yes?
No! No! Hans! No! Furious, absolutely furious with him.
Just a bell to say where I am? How can that be? Imagine someone ringing a bell behind you and thinking, right, I know exactly now where the top of their head is. No, you don't. You just know there's a man behind you ringing a bell. Don't even know if it's a man.
What I'd really like with those two is if Hans got the old crossbow out and just grazed her cheek, because you know Helga would go ape and she'd just punch him to the floor.
At number 9, a Dutch magician with a linking rings routine regarded as a masterclass in magic.
Where's the ball?
It's on the top of the cup.
It's on top of the bottom of the cup. And the only time you should worry is if I sneak it into my left hand. Because if the ball's in my left hand, it's in my left hand. If it's not in my hand, it's under the cup. If it's under the cup, it's not in my hand at all. If it was in that hand, it could be in that. If it was in that, it could be up there. If it was up there, it could be down there. If it was in the pocket at the same time, it could be up there at the same time as on the cup. If the cup and the ball together, they can't be separate. If they can't be together. If it's up there at the same time. Now, if the cup and the ball are separate and the cup is empty, you can't have the ball. You've got the ball in the cup, you can't be in the pocket. In the pocket, you can't be in the can at the same time as on the cup. If, on the other hand, the ball and the cup are together, then the cup... You're not following this, are you?
It's good because it is fast and it is furious, it has audience participation, and I don't think anyone in the world performs it better than Paul Daniels.
Where is it now? For £50.
It's, in your pocket.
In my pocket. In other words, it can't be under the cup, right?
Right.
Wrong. Now this trick, I should teach you this. I mean, there's no point otherwise.
That took a lot of shows before that was right. That was an incredibly long process. I was doing a lot of work in men's clubs, and I guess I did about close to 300 performances before I came home one night and went, yes, you know, that's it, it's right.
Yes?
Yeah.
Say yes, Paul.
Yes, Paul.
Good. Now you've got to put the cup down to catch a ball that goes up your sleeve, across your shoulder, down the side, under the cup.
It's like sex. He's showing how he would make sex at you if you were a woe man. He'd be going, ball, ball. He's doing that, you know, clever with his hands.
But be very careful that you don't put the ball into the wrong pocket, because when you go flick, everybody claps. Why do they clap? Because when you flick, you've got a lemon. It baffles them completely, don't know where it's from.
The climax of it, it's just a beautiful piece. It's like visual music, almost. Lemon. And then...
If you'll clap that, you'll go mad over the orange. I don't know where that comes
Orange! So what he's promising you, basically, is a double orgasm. And, you know, a lot of us can't compete with that.
And at number 7, forget the nicotine patches, because here's a trick that'll put you off cigarettes for the rest of your life.
The cigarette trick can only be performed in front of people laughing because it really overrides the pain. I've never been able to practice the trick in privacy because it hurts, and I am burning myself.
Is it getting hotter in here to you?
And then before you know it, he's got 12 or something. And you just get no.
You mind if I smoke?
When I performed the trick, I was a smoker at the time, and that's why I gave up smoking. Health insurance companies used to give me a physical and say it looked like you've been sucking on the exhaust pipe of a car. I couldn't get insurance. I now have health insurance for the first time in my life.
Now, is 38 your final decision?
I think the flying trick is a unique illusion because it captures that dreamlike quality. Everybody dreams of flying.
It is magical. It's like E.T., it's like Disney time.
And I think everyone expects him to stand up and fly vertically up. So when he lies on the floor and levitates just off the ground, you know, that truly is a wonderful moment.
You forget just how absolutely spectacular it is. It's scary. It's David doing what he always does. He looks at a trick and makes it the best. You know, he doesn't want to float on a sword or a broom. He says, I want to float like Superman. And he does. At one point in time, he is sealed in a box, and he still does everything he can do when he's not sealed in the box. And I mean, that's taking the piss, really, you know?
And then when the woman walks on top of the glass box, to prove that that indeed is a solid.
ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the great carve-up. Miss 1970. Well, this is the apparatus we use, specially designed to do the job, to amaze and to amuse.
The zigzag lady is undoubtedly one of the greatest tricks of all time.
It was an amazing illusion because it could be seen completely surrounded and it could be seen in extreme close-up. So one of the great modern illusions, no question.
Well, this is Carol. She's 5'7". She's not a little girl. I'm going to ask her to get right inside. Oh, better take your shoes off, but that's all. And you see, she's not a little girl.
He had an extraordinarily brilliant magical brain, and his tricks have been copied and duplicated and done by every other magician since. But his first version really is the best.
Now, this is the one that hurts me far more than it hurts you. Tell me if it comes out at the back, will you? Through. Now, I want you to push, and I am going to pull. Right, a big heave. Over there. Feel a hand, please.
What Robert Harbin does is he has a lady from the audience up, examining all this stuff. Is that a foot? Is that a stomach? Feel the stomach.
Now look, touch your tummy. Breathe in. Hold it. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good girl. Satisfied?
He's getting the whole thing verified all the way through. And her face, because she's so close to it, tells you that there aren't any mirrors. It tells you that something completely extraordinary has happened.
Well, now, Carol has a nasty gap in her economy, so let's put her right. She'll need 3 dressing rooms now.
There's absolutely no way that it physically can work. It's making me quite cross thinking about it, actually.
Thank you so much. There we are, Carol.
When I first saw Lance do the Dove Act, I was absolutely amazed. And he was such a great dove worker that it was almost like a character, like a automaton, performing wonderful, wonderful dove magic.
Amongst magicians, he's got it all. He's got the fingers, and he's got the timing, and he's got the looks.
He looks a bit like a sort of mutant cousin of Elvis Presley.
No, he doesn't. He's too thin. He looks more like Shakin' Stevens.
Yeah.
Sometimes the most difficult aspects of the bird act is not actually doing the act. It's making people care about it, you know, because the magician is trying to fool, and being fooled, being deceived is not a pleasant experience in everyday life. As a magician, we're asking people to enjoy being deceived, and that's really the hard part, is to connect with the audience and make them like it.
Lance Burton is just stuffed full of doves. I mean, it's incredible that he can do it, and he'll just bring a dove out somewhere, but it's because he is packed stuffed full of doves. He can't move. He's got doves up here, doves down there, doves everywhere.
That in itself is a piece of magic, that their heads are all folded under the... I don't know how they do it.
There was something very, very odd about him, in actual fact, and probably quite kinky. So yeah, if I said I had to sleep with a magician, I have a horrible feeling it might be Lance Burton.
At number 3, 2 magicians who performed the fastest ever version of this Houdini classic.
Don't blink, it takes them just under 2 seconds.
the legs on that. That was all I could look at, her legs.
She's shaved within an inch of her life. There's some, she goes to a clinic somewhere, and they know her intimately because they plucked.
Child's costumes are skimpy. There's a reason for this. She's got a great body. This is going to sound a little arrogant, but the thing that pleases me most about Metamorphosis is that it is an illusion that was done by all the great illusionists. And we did things that would have fooled Houdini, the man who invented it.
And she gets out of the box having changed her leotard. Well, how did they do that?
Well, God gave me this job, and I'm doing it as best I can. So.
Ready?
Levitation is just, it's frightening. I mean, that scares me. I go, oh, when I see it.
He's into that spiritual stuff, man. It's serious, man. I seen a movie on it, man.
And they react like they've seen the impossible, and that's what's slightly frightening about it.
Can you see my feet? Don't move. Why?
I was very impressed, very impressed. And the fact that he did it in the street, in a studio, anything could be set up in a studio. It's amazing. I mean, before we know, there's a boat with a string. Up at the end, they just pick people who have got bad necks.
You want to see something that I find a little bit strange?
Sure. You don't find this strange? I mean, I do.
What I find strange is an ability. Stand close together in case I fall over. Watch.
You do feel he has communed with forces, like he literally had just sold his soul at the crossroads somewhere, and instantly had that power, instantly had that ability to persuade people that he was, you know, truly a miracle worker.
I guess he's very gifted. To me, like, spiritually very gifted, but, like, I think meditation-wise, he really, like, he can do it. I mean, that was unbelievable. I mean, there's, like, no strings attached.
He floated. That's all. Did you see him float? Did you get a float? Because he floated.
We are now rapidly approaching the breathtaking climax of tonight's performance. But first, a little more mental magic for you to try at home. Adam, think of a number between 1 and 10.
Okay.
Now add 1.
Right.
Now minus the number you were first thinking of.
Okay.
The number you have is the number 1.
Yes!
And as if that isn't amazing enough, we present to you the number 1 greatest magic trick of all time.
Wow. I'd never seen anything like it. It was tremendous.
Best magic trick I have ever seen.
Oh, it's fantastic.
This guy's the best.
He gets into this box and he's manacled, and you think it's going to be a death-defying escape. You think that what's going to happen is that he's going to get out before the saw hits him, because that is an absolutely standard magical plot.
I've actually seen that live, and it is impressive. The smoke, the lighting, and that is really whizzing around. And of course it's coming down, and there is that red area on the clock, which you know can only mean one thing. I tell you what was rather good was that when he put his left arm out to undo a lock, and I thought, oh, that blade is a bit close.
That for me was one of the best moments in magic, because when I saw that saw penetrate his body, I knew that they were going to part the body, and I knew at that point that what I was about to see was kind of a new landmark in the sawing in half illusion.
There he is, look at that, his body's in half, and then when the brilliance of bringing him round to see face his own legs, it's just incredible. And then move the feet! Brilliant. And then he does.
I guess the reason why I think it's great, because he does the stuff that you would do if you really were a magician, you know. He says, all right, I'm in trouble now, but I just poof and I fix it, you know.
And all the trucks suddenly move closer together, and you see his body fuse together, and bingo. Brilliant.
Part of that illusion, which is so great, is that John Williams, E.T., Close Encounters music that's building, 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 and he punches the air with the flash, and the music finishes. It is, I am here, the trick is ended. Isn't it great? And yes, it is. It is. It's a superb piece of theatre.
Well, that's almost it from tonight's celebration of magic. But before we go, here's a trick that proves that magic needn't be about weird men wearing silly costumes performing spectacular stunts.
That's right. Sometimes magic can be as simple as 2 weird men and an egg.
Keep your flash powder dry, and don't forget to polish your magic wand.
And keep that cabinet clean.
Good night.
Night.
Here's a little trick
You're
I'm
gonna
going to
do
do
a
now.
trick?
Yeah, it's a trick involving an ordinary egg, one ordinary everyday household domestic egg.
So you pick any
there
of
we are.
these
Yeah,
eggs?
any egg. There we
Okay,
go.
that's
Pick that
right.
one. There we go. You see. Wow. There we are, you see?
Jeff, that
Thank you
was
very
rubbish.
much. Thank you. What do you
Thank
mean it was
very much.
rubbish?
It was rubbish. Anyone could do that.
All right, well, you do it then.
Okay, so what do I do? I
Just pick an egg,
pick
any
any
egg.
egg,
Yeah, not that
okay.
one.
Yeah, and now what? Just put it in my
Yeah,
mouth?
just put it in your
Okay.
mouth, that's it. No, no, you can't make it. Look, you've made a terrible mess. Just eat it all. Just eat it. No, just eat it now. Eat it now.